The hype around artificial intelligence has dominated the business world for the past year, but implementing the revolutionary technology may be harder than it seems. According to EY's latest CEO Pulse survey, the AI buzz may be creating too much noise for executives to cut through. While 99% say that they are planning to invest in generative AI, 68% say uncertainty around the tech creates challenges for adoption. For more on this, we have EY Global Vice Chair of Strategy and Transactions, Andrea Guerzoni. Great to have you here with us today. First and foremost, what are you hearing from CEOs who are trying to figure out how many Benjamins they got to earmark for investment in AI?
Hello, it's a pleasure being here. As you said, it's on top of every CEO's agenda. It's the buzzword now, but at the same time, when it comes down to adoption and understanding really the value that can be extracted from this technology, it becomes much more complicated. So our survey showed very clearly that almost 2/3 of the 1,200 CEOs we interviewed are struggling with the actual application, and they are keeping themselves in terms of talent, in terms of educating the management teams, hiring the right people, but at the same time, the application is not that easy.
Andrea, what do the partnerships look like when they're talking about furthering their progress and adopting AI? What does that strategy look like? What are you hearing from business leaders in terms of how they're approaching that?
I think they are very cautious. I think the technology is evolving extremely fast, and there's a huge fear of making mistakes. The cost associated with this technology is very high. The development of proprietary language model to ensure safety in the use and effectiveness in the adoption, it's an element of complexity. So they are trying really very hard to understand which use cases can be adopted first to test the technology, to develop further use cases down the line. I think the first applications are really more related to efficiency, trying really to reduce costs, to trying really to understand better how this technology can evolve. And I think the next step will be definitely the impact that these technologies can have on the top line growth. And finally, really devising a strategy that would allow companies to redesign their business models, their processes.
What type of expectations do they have in terms of productivity from what you're hearing from some of these leaders?
I think that the use cases we have currently deployed show that there could be significant boost in productivity, talking about 20-30% when it comes down to education, white collar type of work, really giving these machines the possibility to ingest huge content, manuals, quality type of stuff that today is basically completely manually managed, that can be actually completely automated through this technology. And this allows really companies to redeploy the existing workforce in order to make them focus on a much more value-added kind of tasks.
Andrea, when it comes to M&A activity, we've heard some comments from some business leaders this week just talking about the fact that it might take longer to rebound in 2024, given the geopolitical escalation, given the fact that we see inflation very sticky throughout the world. What are you hearing from business leaders about what their expectations are going to be like for deal-making activity next year?
I think that this view is pretty much confirmed by our interview. The interviews are showing that there's obviously a huge focus on investment, but in the next couple of quarters, it's going to be more organic and more through joint ventures and partners rather than pure M&A. I think the underlying reasons are pretty clear and evident as the high interest rates and the geopolitical uncertainty, and also the impact actually of these new technologies that would require for sure M&A type of activities to accelerate the adoption. But given the uncertainty we mentioned before, I think they want really to be sure that they are buying into the right technology, they're buying into the right companies. So all these elements compounded actually are going to provide probably still a rather subdued level of activity.
Andrea Guerzoni, great to get your perspective here. Thanks so much for sharing the latest survey that you have on business leaders throughout the world. EY Global Vice Chair of Strategy and Transactions.